So I wanted to take this opportunity to compare the trajectories and the evolution of landfills in Australia with some of our international landfills. So Remondis is a German company, so it was fitting that I use some German examples to compare our Australian experience against. So jumping right in, very quickly, Remondis is part of the Resman Group, one of the largest waste and recycling companies in the world. And underneath Remondis, we have some subsidiaries, including Remex, who are our experts in landfill management internationally. We operate in 33 countries, and we have more than 32,000 employees and own more than 800 recycling facilities and landfill facilities internationally. These are only the facilities that we own. We also operate a number of facilities on behalf of our customers. Today, I really want to focus on our landfills though. At the moment, we own 23 landfills internationally, but manage almost double that on behalf of our customers. In Australia, we have 39 branches, and our key landfill operations are on the eastern coast. So we have locations in Springmount, Hogan's Pocket, Rochdale, Roachdale, Swanbank, and we operate Mugger Lane on behalf of ACT No Waste at the moment in Canberra. We also have a very small operation in Weipa to the north. This is a little bit more detail about the landfills that we currently operate. We are landfilling in excess of 1.2 million tonnes of waste in Australia every year. And today I really want to focus on our Swanbank landfill, which is our largest landfill, and also to look at Mugger Lane landfill. If we start with Mugger, it was opened in the 1970s, so it's been operational for many, many decades. And you'll see through the timeline that things have improved on site over time, as you would expect. We've gone from source separated recycling through to mixed stream recycling. Leachate management systems have been installed, landfill gas management systems have been installed, and there are other recycling facilities that exist on the site as well, including a composting facility, a C&D recycling facility, a reuse centre and a transfer station. So this landfill services the Canberra region and receives 200 to 250,000 tonnes each year. When we compare this against the Swanbank landfill, which was opened much, much later in the late 1990s, given the time frame, it had its landfill gas systems and its leachate management systems in place from day one. We've seen the landfill gas systems improved over time. We've seen assets tested in the Brisbane floods and through other natural disasters, and we are celebrating our 20th anniversary this year. It was the first privately owned and operated engineered landfill in Queensland, and interestingly sits on old coal mines, so we are dealing with coalstone fires and subsidence issues on site. There's no landfill levy here, as is the case in Canberra, and it is the largest landfill to use phytocap technology. So for anybody who was sitting through that presentation, it's quite a challenging thing to implement. If I step outside of Australia for a moment and jump to our German counterparts, I've looked at 6 of our key landfill operations internationally, but we do also have landfills in Poland and in other European countries. You'll see that these key landfills are a mix of public-private partnerships, privately owned facilities, and commercially shared facilities. So today I really want to focus on Lippewerk and the Kapitältal landfills. They have interesting stories that are quite unique, but with some characteristics that really resonate with our Australian landfill experience. So if you look at Lippewerk, which is in Lunen, which is where our headquarters are located, the site is now the largest industrial recycling centre in Europe. So it receives more than 1.03 million tonnes of waste per annum, and approximately 100,000 tonnes of that ends up in the landfill that's on site. The landfill was originally established to service the aluminium ore processing on site, and in 1993, when Remondis purchased it, it was expanded into a much broader facility with a lot of recycling components and options. So the reason I selected this is because of its size and importance to Remondis, but also because in Germany it is quite unusual for the recycling facilities to coexist with the landfill, whereas we see that quite commonly in Australia. In Germany we see recycling facilities located in more strategic locations. You'll see incinerators and MBTs closer to population centres, whereas the landfills are a little bit more removed. I also wanted to look at the Capital Tal landfill, which Remondis was involved in after it was decommissioned. Similarly to Mugger Lane, it was opened in the 1970s, but interestingly decommissioned in 2006. In 1993, Germany released a directive which said by 2005 we are no longer taking untreated waste to landfill, or waste with with more than 3% total organic content. Unsurprisingly, the industry didn't move a lot in the 12 years that they had, and in 2005 a lot of the landfills had to be decommissioned because they could no longer legally accept untreated waste. So with Capital Tal landfill, which was originally designed to receive untreated waste, we looked at building a new landfill on top of the old and optimising the site. So we received approval to expand this in 2013, and in 2016 it was opened, and it has extended the landfill life for another 35 years. So it was an interesting example of new technology in Germany and what may be the future of landfilling in Australia. If I take these examples and the legislation that's been implemented, I've tried to come up with the trajectories of both countries. So this is the trajectory that I've summarised for Germany. You'll see that the facilities are usually purpose-built. Germany is not a resource-rich company. It doesn't have endless quarries to fill. Usually they have hazardous landfills built underground and non-hazardous landfills built above ground. As I mentioned, in 1993, the directive was that you have 12 years, Germany, to try and to plan for not landfilling untreated waste. In 2004, it's not so surprising that the industry wasn't ready and that a lot of material landfill at very, very cheap rates. In 2005, when the switch was turned on, we saw the stockpiling of untreated baled waste until industry caught up and new MBTs and incinerators were built. After 2010, we've seen more landfill mining trials in Germany, which is a really interesting topic, and also the new landfills on top of the old, as discussed. If we compare this to Australia, most of our landfills are located in old quarries and mines, so not necessarily purpose-built, and we've had to engineer them to be appropriate to receive waste. The landfill gas systems have generally been implemented in response to changes in legislation and carbon pricing in particular. And rather than landfill bans, we've relied on landfill levies to redirect waste from landfill. So with the introduction of high landfill levies, we've seen more opportunities for recycling, which has then changed the composition and the quantity of waste that we're seeing in landfill. The landfill levies have also brought the promise of infrastructure grants, which has again changed the quantity and composition of waste that we're receiving at the landfills. In Australia, we're also seeing that the recycling facilities are usually coexist with the landfills, and you can pick a dozen different examples around the country where the recycling facilities are sitting next door to the landfill. So the primary drivers of change has obviously been legislation, black and white legislation in terms of landfill bans in the case of Germany, and landfill levies, which are a little bit greyer and a little bit more less time dependent, if you wish, in Australia. The commodity and the energy markets has played an important role in working out where the recycling facilities might sit and what waste streams are recovered and what are not. And we're also seeing that land availability is scarce and it's very difficult to get approvals for new landfills. So we're looking to optimise the existing sites by either building new landfills on top of old or building recycling facilities next to the landfills. In conclusion, landfill obviously continues to be critical in an integrated waste management system. Our landfill dependency has changed. In Germany it has reduced but is not eliminated, and in Australia we've still obviously got a very strong dependency on landfill as a solution to waste management. We've seen that regulatory intervention, bans, levies, carbon, has impacted our dependence on landfill, and that infrastructure grants for recycling facilities have also done so. If I was asked to put a number on it, I would probably estimate that Germany's landfills are 15 to 20 years in front of Australia, simply based on the black and white legislation and landfill bans that they've put in place. For the future of landfilling in Australia, I think we will see more integrated resource recovery parks and precincts that leverage existing landfill sites. And in Germany, it looks to be more about mining landfills and also building new on old.